And we are live, everyone. Hey, it's a historic day in the world, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to just talk about anything but that.
What's so historic about it? What happened?
Taco Tuesday was yesterday, so. So everyone, yeah, we're thrilled. Sorry, Rich, I cut you off again.
I was going to say we still don't know results yet, so it's historic, but it hasn't made history yet.
Yeah, but yeah, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk to our amazing guests. So I'll introduce myself, and then I'll introduce my colleague, and then we'll let them speak for themselves. But I'm Jack Mangan with Metal Asylum and the Metal Hall of Fame and the Am I Evil graphic novel project, which is funded, as you may or may not know. So we are hard at work. We're going to make a comic book based on Am I Evil, coming out early 2021. So that's me. I'm wearing a Beatles shirt today too, by the way. You can see the Fab Four. So
I know a lot about those guys, I tell you.
And I'm Rich Catino from Metal Asylum also, and Bravewords, and Am I Evil graphic novel, and the Metal Hall of Fame, and I contribute at Sea of Tranquility as well. So yeah, I got my hands in a lot of pots right now, but it's cool.
Who's next?
Let's go with you. You're the guest of honor, so introduce yourself. If everybody doesn't know you already.
If I'm the guest of honor, then you're in trouble. I'll tell you that much. I'm Aldo Nova, and with Aldo Nova, and always with Aldo Nova. So I guess I'm Aldo Nova, and go ahead, introduce yourselves. Jack.
Go ahead, I'm Jack Frost. Now I have the pleasure of being with Aldo Nova. Thank you very much.
Right on. And I'm Tim Gaines, and I'm with Aldo Nova also.
All right, no offense. You guys are terrible at this. I want to hear all of this. You guys are.
Actually, we play together. This band is just like we had a great band before. We have Billy Carmassi on drums, one of the famous Carmassi brothers. We've had Tim Gaines on bass, and now we just added Jack Frost on guitar. So Jack was the missing element that, like I say, we needed like a missing piece to build like the atom bomb, and Jack was like the detonator, I guess, to really like make it go. So I'm really like hype about playing ever since Jack has been in the band. So
yeah,
and Tim, of course, you know what I mean. So Tim's always been there. So I mean, so
I try to be.
Well, let's start with that, Al. Let's start with that, Aldo. How long has Tim been with you?
Tim, funny story. Tim's been with me for like now what, since June 2019, and no, January 2019 when we did the Chicago video. And Jack, yeah, that's when we met. Yeah, it's funny. You know, how I met Tim is that I was going to friend somebody on Facebook, and I saw Tim's picture about this big, like a tiny little cube, and I said that guy was like a bass player. I don't know who Striper is. I don't know who Tim Gaines is. I have no clue whatsoever. But I said, that guy looks like a bass player. So I look him up, I friend him, and he's got like a wall of basses there. So I contact him and I say, well, can you send me some stuff you did? First of all, I send him my 2.0 record and I see if he's interested. And then he sends me some stuff and then Striper stuff. So then I find out that these guys dress like bees. I don't want to see anything. And then he sends me a solo album, Breakfast at Timothy. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, so and there's basses lined everywhere. So I said, okay, this guy's must be a real bass player. And then I listened to his record. And it was just awesome. It was just bass doing everything. It was like a badass bass player on top of that. So after that, we were talking and contacting each other. And then I said, well, I was doing the Survivor video in January 2019. And that was like almost $100,000 video. So I paid him his flight, him and Billy, that I hadn't seen in 40 years. And Tim gets off the plane. I say hi, and directly we go have dinner, and then directly onto the stage the next day to shoot the video. Yeah. Then we go have dinner again, and that's how we meet. And then, of course, it's always through emails or text, or we talk on the phone if I have a bass track for him to do and things like that. So, and Jack, that's something else altogether.
That's a whole different story.
Same thing. I mean, Jack sends me an email out of nowhere. Sees my Survivor video. Again, that's the thing that ties everything together. Sees my Survivor video and writes me. And he writes me, he goes, here's my resume and whatever. And, I've been in this band. And I said, well, okay, well. So I said, well, you sound great. I said, but send me a picture of yourself, but now, not one from 20 years ago. So I said, so send me a picture of you now. So he sends me some pictures. He got a great look. And then he keeps harassing me with emails. Like, one after the other. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go check him out on YouTube. And then I see this phenomenon on guitar. I mean, it's like moves great, sounds great, plays great. And I call him up. We start talking, and now we're starting to do. He didn't know anything about Messenger before, so I tell him get a Messenger account because it doesn't cost anything. Because he used to call me without knowing if he had a plan or not. So I said, you're gonna have to mortgage your house. Like that. I said, get a Messenger account. So, lately for the last week we've been messengering yourself. I just get along great with both these guys. It's almost as if it was meant to be, So, I mean, because my band, it's not a band. I mean, it's a family. I'm not looking for, it's not Aldo Nova and musicians. It's like the band of brothers. That's the way it is. So, I mean, they can testify to that. So,
yeah,
he's a sweetheart.
He's awesome.
Nah, he is. When you meet somebody, Rich, when you meet somebody, you don't have to say much to, and after 5 minutes, you just know that there's a connection.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like, dude, and it's funny because I'm gonna go like this, and he's gonna laugh when I put this in the camera.
There's my camera.
What is it? Can't see it.
It's about to watch.
Oh, watch. Okay.
And I asked him the one day. I said, "Can I ask you a question? It's kind of weird though. Is that a Movado?" He's like, "What do you know about a Movado?" And it was just like one to twin powers activate. It was just like I don't know, man. And then me being a fan, of course, I'll say this. I'm a fan of Tim. I told Tim today. I know his history, and we have so many mutual friends out in California. It's just, you got to say this. I don't care when people don't believe this. I think God.
He froze.
You froze.
No, he froze.
He froze. He lives up to his name. You froze, Jack Frost. Jack Frost.
I think he's got to maybe sign out and sign back in.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't know what he was going to say.
Right.
But all right. Well, I guess we'll get Jack Frost back. But I'll just say really quickly, we got a bunch of comments. You guys are really loved. Richard Cook has jumped in a lot, and actually, so Jimmy K, you may know, Canadian metal voice.
I talk to Jimmy every day on the phone. Every morning he calls me up. Every morning.
Yeah, he says he wants to know if the rest of the band is going to wear leopard clothing. Kidding, he says.
No, even I don't wear leopard clothing anymore.
We also got a message from Paulina Cabrera and Marco Cortez. So you guys got a lot of love out there. So it's good to see. So yeah, I mean, we'll wait. We'll get Jack back. Maybe we'll send him a text. But Rich, why don't you fire away with some questions?
Okay. Well, I was going to ask the part two then, since Tim has been there for about over a year now. Then, right? A little over.
Almost 2 years. Yeah.
So did he play any parts on the new solo album you got coming out in 21?
Yeah, he planned on when all was said and done.
Yeah.
Rattling these guys' songs, and it's like back and forth. He's like doesn't know how many songs he played on. So.
Well, I mean, the word on you, Aldo Nova, is that you're basically like the Canadian Prince. You do everything. You can play basically everything there is. Is that a?
I have a big problem with Canadian music industry these days. So it's like I don't know, but I'm not the prince of anything. I'll tell you that much. I'm just a regular guy. But like to me, the Canadian music industry now is like not on my good books. You know what I mean? They refuse to acknowledge that I'm Canadian. They refuse to help Canadian talent. It's like it's the weirdest thing, Whereas America welcomes me with open arms. You know what I mean? So they've always done that anyway. It's like Canadians seem to think that I'm American. So let them keep thinking that.
Well, yeah, I'll
North
just tell you really.
America.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, all right, I got Jack Frost back.
He's back.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
Oh man,
There he is.
you're in a different place now. You're on the bottom
I
right.
am. I'm closer to Rich. I'm with that guy.
There you go. So yeah, you were in mid thought, Jack. You said
Yeah,
thank
what was
God,
that?
and then you froze.
What was I saying? Where were we at?
You said something about thank God, and then you froze.
Oh,
and
I'm just
we're all
saying-
in the,
I just feel that God puts people in places at the right time. It's just meant to be. I mean, I don't know. I'm just blessed. I mean, these guys are awesome, man. You don't know them, and as I got to talk to them, and Aldo Nova, he's just a sweetheart. Seriously, the way he made me feel the first time we talked, and not like, okay, I've been in a lot of situations where it's like, okay, you're going to be a guitar player, you're going to stand here, you're not going to smile, you're not going to move. He's like, no, that's not what I want. I want a team player. It's not. I think he actually said, you don't play for me, you play with me. So that to me right there said, wow, that's.
Mhm.
And honestly, he doesn't need to say that. Do you know the history this guy has? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I not even like everybody say, oh, the fantasy guy. No, that's just the start of what this guy has. You should. He'll his history is just like ridiculous. All the people he wrote for, produced. Aldo, I'm staying out of it. You should do the
Tim talk some more. I mean, it's like anyway. People always call me the fantasy guy, and whatever. And I got so used to. I take long extended hiatuses from the music industry. Like when I was in 1985, I told Sony to go screw themselves. And not very many people would tell the record company that Sony is like walk out of a contract and still have 3 options for 3 more albums. So I took off. I didn't want to give up my artistic integrity just to be a sellout. So I just walked out, went to Montreal, and then started doing like Celine Dion, and then writing. Wrote a bunch of #1 hits, and all the while having all leading up to this one moment in 2008 where I quit working with anybody and started working on my rock opera. And 12 years later, it's finally finished. And I think Rich heard some of it, or
Yes. Yep, I did.
So it's pretty.
It's very epic. Yes.
It is. I mean, and I got so used to everybody calling me a has-been, a one-hit wonder. But it's like I don't care. You can call me whatever you want. I've been planning this for forever. I mean, I knew that when I was going to come out, I was going to be like, this is it. It's going to be, this is what I'm doing now. And I don't live on the past. I did fantasy. Fantasy was fantastic. But I live for what I'm doing today and not what I did yesterday. So I always want to stay up the head of or one level above the next. So.
Well, for most Americans that. Now, I'm not assuming it, but maybe a lot don't know. Let them know that you have been active making music and what has been available to the American audience that maybe they're not aware of. Like, is there an album or like a song or something that they should go back to that's been released here?
Well, there's 2 of them. One was When All Is Said and Done, which came from the rock opera, and I've got a new one called Hey Lottie Dottie, which is on the 5-song preview that you heard. And that's what we're pushing now. But I mean, it's like the radio is dead. I mean, forget about dead. They refuse to play any new music. I was lucky enough to be doing a show yesterday. He's got an hour where they allow him to play what they call. I'm a legacy artist. I mean, they'll play fantasies to death, but to get a new song played on radio, it's next to impossible. It's worse for me than it is for a new band, because they consider me a legacy artist. So radio doesn't really encourage anything. So everything is done through social media, I guess, now.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
Yeah. I mean, times have definitely changed, the way everything is reached. And then, there are a million questions I want to ask. But since we're kind of talking a little bit about the new album, that's definitely on our minds. I kind of want to ask all 3 of you guys, what moments, what concepts, what parts, what songs are you guys all really most excited about for the concept album?
Well, they've all heard it. I mean, Tim's had it for.
Yeah, I guess what are you guys most excited for the public to hear? What are you guys excited to play when eventually you can play live again?
When all was said and done was, was great for me because the video I got to play, but I'm looking forward to working on the whole thing.
I think it's always pretty much known that when it comes to records, I do pretty much everything. But when I want to go play live, I just like pick the best musicians to play. And we just, with my mentality, it was just I got Jack and Tim, and I got Konasi in the band. It's to just go out and destroy. At least I think the same way I do. It's just like, let's go out and just kill. Kill everybody in front of you and kill everybody that's going to follow you. So it's like.
And actually, I'll say I saw you in '91. Sorry, I saw you in '91 when you were out with the Scorpions, and it was absolutely, a lot of people are like, oh, it's the fantasy guy, but you blew everyone away. Like everyone was just. So I can attest that Aldo Nova does kick ass live. That was an incredible show. It was, so anyway,
I didn't have this band either. I mean, still I had Phil X, but it's like this band really like energizes me. Like I wanna. Especially when I had Jack, like I said, it was like the final piece of the puzzle, and just the front line and the back line. I mean, it's like I don't know. I'm energized now. I want to play. I play guitar every day, and I want to play. Like in my head, I want to go destroy. I want to be on stage with these guys. I want to. I don't know. Even just the energy that we have when we talk on the phone. It's like that. I mean, it's not like it's not. I don't know. It's just we have the same mentality, the same mindset. When it comes to playing, it's like a band, a brotherhood, and just go ahead, forge.
In the meantime, since we're everybody's home and there's no live shows, do you think you guys might do something virtual somehow?
I am thinking. Actually, I've got pretty much everything in place to do large scale. Huge production live show that'll be like sort of a not expensive pay-per-view that I'll do. I've got all with huge stage and lighting, and I've already got the video guy crew. I've got the stage set up. I've got the lighting set up. I've got the lighting designer set up. It's just a matter of the venue here where we're going to tape. Nothing's open in Montreal. Everything's in lockdown. So. And then the borders are closed. I mean, if I could just get the guys up here, just get the guys up. I've even contacted immigration attorneys to get them up here because that's all I need. I need the guys, and then we're set to go. My mentality about these drive-in shows, I think it's like, I don't know. I mean, the drive-in shows, I mean, people are going there. You sit 5 in a car. One guy can't get high because he's a designated driver. So it's already 4 to 5. Only 4 to 5 are getting stoned, and the other ones like can't get high. Otherwise, the cops are waiting for him at the exit, which they're going to peel him for sure. And then you're sitting in your car listening to a stereo. I mean, on the FM radio. So my concept is I want to do a huge production stage. Full band, full lights, full everything. Charge like maybe $30 maximum. My whole concept is built on the Dana White UFC model. In other words, you pay one price, $30, but you can have 18 guys in the room, have a party, and everybody's got a front row seat. Whereas when you have you watch it, you go to a drive-in show, well, you can't see nothing. Whereas if you're in if somebody you can sit at your house on the big screen TV. Invite your family, your kids, your neighbors. It's like UFC, Dana White. Pay $65 and 18 guys in the room. They have a party. That's the way it should be. And everybody's got a front row seat. I mean, why should somebody go strain their head and sit in a car and go see anything? You don't see anything. Yeah. And I don't know what the winters are like where you are, but I mean, I know in Phoenix they don't have very many winters, so I guess they can do the drive-ins all year round. Right?
Yeah. Tim, are you in, I'm in Phoenix. Are you in Phoenix, Tim?
Yeah, where you at?
Oh yeah, I'm up in Scottsdale.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
close.
So we'll have it in. Yeah, you guys can have it in my backyard. How about that?
There we
You guys
go.
do.
It's warm there. Count me in.
It's cool enough.
So Aldo, that's something you're going to kind of work on for the next year before the album comes out, or after the album comes out.
Well, like I said, what I'm putting out is there's probably I've added one song to the EP that you heard, and that should be coming out February, March, and then I'll be doing a lot more press for that, and that'll be like just a 6-song EP of that'll give you a good idea that the record is a rock opera, and it's not just like 5 rock songs. It's like what you heard. There's a 40-piece classical in the middle and 40-piece orchestra with one voice, and it's got the choirs and the gospel, and it's got the synth pop thing and the heavy metal song at the beginning. So I'm putting that out. And then as far as the album, I mean, I worked 12 years on it. So if you work 12 years on something, you sort of your life is basically in there. It's 23 songs. It's 2 hours long. And COVID just came and basically messed up everything. I'm not going to just put it out just because I want to put out an album. I mean, I'll wait. I mean, I waited 12 years, I'll wait another 12 years. I don't care.
All right. By the way, you can curse. I felt like there were a couple of F-bombs you wanted to drop. So if you want to say, COVID fucked everything up, then go right ahead and say that. It's okay.
Yeah.
My wife told me when I talk on the phone with Jack, that's all I do is say fuck all the time. And I swear. So, did you notice that, Jack? That when I talk to you, I swear a lot?
No, I didn't. You do?
I never swear around Tim. I mean, it's like I call him up.
Sure.
You know, it's really funny. When we first started to talk, he goes to me, one thing I got to tell you, if you're going to be in my band, you have to understand, we crack a lot of jokes. We're funny. I said, you do realize I'm from Jersey, right? I mean, the biggest thing about everyone's a ball buster. And he said, I mean, you know how it is. I mean, Jack, you're from here originally too, so you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, Aldo, how much time have you spent in New York in your life in Jersey? So you know, Jersey people are ball busters.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know, like, I don't know if he's talked to Tim knows the drummer, Billy Carmasi. Now, if you want about to talk to somebody who's funny, is Billy funny? Tim?
Oh my God. Yeah. my face hurt from
this guy,
laughing.
he's so funny. He's just hysterical. And so I don't like stress. I don't like conflict. So if I'm going to go out on the road, I want to have a nice time, laugh, get the good band that gets along, plays great, the more your head is relaxed, the more you can go out and kick ass at night. So I think these guys deserve the fact that they should be treated with some respect. I mean, I think Tim has had enough of hearing that he wasn't Striper before. I think it's about time he gets recognized for himself. I mean, Striper has done his time and he wasn't Striper. So what? Stop saying Tim Gaines, ex-Striper. Just say Tim Gaines. And that's amazing, phenomenal bass player. You know what I mean? Just phenomenal guy and bass player. And Jack, well, he's like, I've seen him playing in clubs on YouTube, but this guy deserves to be on a big stage. He doesn't deserve to be playing in clubs. So, I mean, everybody's like X this and X that, and I'm X this and X that. Well, I'm not X Aldo Nova. I'm always going to be Aldo Nova. that's the beauty. The beauty of being me. It's like all these bands that they always come back with a new formation, a new lead singer. Well, you can't replace me. It's like I go up on stage, you're going to see Aldo Nova. It's not as if you're going to see some guy who's we replace the singer. It's like, oh wait, Aldo Nova's going out, but I'm going to get a new singer. It's like you're always going to see the real deal. So it's like, I mean, what do you guys think of the new music business about all these bands that are coming out, don't have any original members in them, or maybe they have the drummer?
Right. Yeah, like Jefferson Airplane is one of them. Yeah. No, I want to hear what you guys, like Tim and Jack, what's your take on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's true. There's not too many people around that have the original members, and who wants to go spend money to see one guy, who was the stagehand or the keyboard player, but they have that name, whatever. It's it's hard to keep a group together, the same people for 5 years, let alone 30, 40 years. So, but it's all good.
How long were you, I hate to say that word, but how long were you a member of Striper?
34 years.
Wow.
34 years.
34 years.
And you could handle what, Michael Sweet's ego for that long?
We had our times, and we got along, we didn't get along, but hey, sometimes it's time to just move on and live life, because we're not getting any younger, and who needs all the BS,
Exactly.
Well
Tim,
said.
if you could pick two Aldo songs that you would like playing in the set, or like to play when you guys play live, what are they?
Well, he just brought it up today. Blood on the Bridge. God, it's like, wow, that's a great tune. The hits, Monkey, Fantasy, those are all going to be fun to play, but stuff off his new one. Everything that he does is, in my opinion, a masterpiece. And a lot of people don't know. I think me and Jack were talking about this today. I was like, God, I didn't know a lot of the stuff that Aldo did. I didn't know what a phenomenal guitar player he was. Just amazing. So I'm just looking forward to the whole thing. We're gonna do a kick-ass show. It's gonna be awesome.
Jack, what about you? Same question.
Well, for me, it's pretty easy. I saw him in Jersey opening up for Blue Oyster Cult. I'll never forget this. And if we ever got a chance to play the first record, start to finish, that would be pretty rad, because for that time and era, that record was groundbreaking. I mean, groundbreaking. I mean, you have to remember, I was at 82, 81, 82, right?
Yeah. 82, yeah.
Yeah, 82. For that time, with the music scene, his sound was so new, and it was just explosive. So that first record, and I love the whole Blood record. I mean, oh my God, that record's so great. I mean, I love Someday. I mean, but then he sent me all this new stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah, Someday is such a great song.
Yeah.
But then he sent me a lot of the new stuff, and then he goes, "Hey, I want to send you this instrumental record I did." Dude, it's like you could sit there and just put headphones on and listen to all the nuances on the guitars and keyboards, and like there's just so much to do. Like, I mean, it'd be fun to maybe one day just do the first record in its entirety. Like, I know bands are doing that. They'll do like Skid Row will go out and they'll do like Slave, and then they'll do all the hits. It'd be fun to do something like that. But like when we were talking, he doesn't, and I respect him for this. There's a lot of bands that are nostalgic bands that will go out, and I have a lot of friends in those nostalgic bands. And I mean, I love Foreigner and I love Journey. I mean, I love those bands. That's where my heart is, Kansas, But, I think I have mad respect, because he doesn't want to be that guy that goes, okay, I'm going to go on the cruise and I'm going to play Fantasy, and that's all anybody wants to hear. I think he has such a broad spectrum of music that dude, if any of you guys got to see him on that tour, he came out of nowhere I'm going to say it was Convention Center in Asbury Park, New Jersey. It was like, it just was like, what did I just see? I got hit by a freight train, and I'll always remember that. There's some shows that, that you just never forget. And just, besides being I won't say in his band, besides being in the band, the friendship that we have now means more to me than any of that. Just being honest. So yeah, I'm ready to go to let's do it all. I'm good.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this show that I'm doing, that I'm planning on, is that I want to go through all the records piece by piece. Start the first album, start to the beginning to the end, subject beginning to the end, a couple of songs from Twitch, a bunch of songs from Nova's Dream that nobody's ever heard of, but that I'm re-releasing now this year because I've got my rights to the masters back. Blood, and then most of the rock opera. So the show is going to be probably about 3.5 hours long. But the difference is that if you look at the way the first record is sequenced, and we're going to do that, most bands, what they do is they call it the cheap shots. They like do all their shots and they don't do their hits. And then they walk off stage and they wait like for the band so that everybody goes crazy to come and hear that one hit or whatever they got. Well, on this show, we start with fantasy. We don't end with fantasy. That's the first song in the first album. That's where we start. So because there's so much other material that we can do. I mean, it's like, and the reason why, again, coming back to these guys, the reason why I get my fans that go like, wow, I saw you in 1982, which is like 40 years ago, or 38 years ago, and that show blew me away, is because of the same thing that I have with these guys. I know how to pick my guys. It's not that I pick them. They sort of pick me, or whatever the universe puts us together, but it's the same type of thing. It's a friendship, and we go out there and have a good time. So if you don't have to worry about the stress about anything, well, you go out there, like I said, the mentality is to destroy. So that's why I pick Tim and Jack and Billy, just for the same mentality. It's just like one brotherhood, and you go out there and all you consider is just play. It's like, here, you want the stage? Take the fucking stage. I don't care. Take it off. I don't give a shit. I'm not like, I don't want a wedding band behind me. Here's me. I'm like some people, here's me in the front. Look at me. And I have a wedding band behind me that, nobody can recognize anymore. Like there's maybe one other member. So me, it's like, take the stage. It's a show. We're here to give a show. We're not here to like, don't look at me, look at the band. So it's like, I want to go crazy. Tim, go crazy. Like Jack's gonna go crazy. All he needs is somebody to let him loose. That's all. These guys, all they need is somebody to tell them, okay, you can do whatever you want. That's it. It's finished. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Well, that's great. I applaud you, Aldo Nova. That's awesome. I'm glad not James Brown about it. That you actually see it as a group thing and not just.
Hey, it feels good.
There's a lot more current guys. They might come from Jersey that do
that. No one from Jersey.
Go ahead, Jack. Ask a question because I asked like 3 of them in a row.
It's all good, man. Yeah. Well, I'll just we got a bunch of comments. Like I said, the comments are flying. You guys are superstars. So I got to say, I will say Rob Alini's. I think I'm saying his long. He's a friend of ours. We talked to him a couple of weeks ago. He says, "Hey Tim," and
hey,
and yeah, just like I said, we got a bunch of questions. So actually, let's get back to Life and Times of Eddie Gage. Can you tell us what this story is? I mean, I know it's a rock opera. What's the plot? No spoilers, of course. What's the story about? Who are the characters?
The story, well, it's got a bunch of different characters in it, and since Eddie Gage is basically my alter ego, except he's much more younger and starts in the same way, playing in clubs, getting signed to a record label, and it's like you think you've seen this whole story before, and there's different characters, but the characters are also there's like 19 different characters, so I changed my voice 19 times, even though there's 23 songs. Sometimes there's 3 characters in one song because a story is about a young kid who gets signed by a record label and goes out, they make him a star, then of course he falls prey to to the usual stuff. You think you've heard the story before, but what makes the story different is that let's say Tommy, I don't think that Pete Townsend was ever a deaf, dumb, and blind kid that ever good ball, you know what I mean? Whereas everything that's in the rock opera is I've lived through, so I know what it's like, and that's why I associate light and dark. There's also evil and good, you know what I mean? So that's why to me the first character is called Andy Christos. He's a record label executive, and Andy stands for anti, and Christos is Christ in Greek. So Antichrist. And if you read the lyrics the guy has like world domination and no borders and New World Order and that kind of thing. Because to me, 35 years, 40 years later, I see record labels not the guy that signed me because he was a sweetheart, but most of his record labels over there, they are like demons. I mean, they're there to suck your blood, make money off of you. They don't give a two shits about you, nothing. And that was back then. They just keep getting worse. As if you see a record label now, you get a record contract. Everybody's like so excited about getting a record contract. Before, at least, you used to only collect on your record sales. Now they collect what they call 360 deals. So they collect off your merchandising, your writing, your publishing, and everything. So it's worse now than it's ever been. So in my play, there's like, I associate the record company guys, or even the guys, the tycoons, they're sort of like, everybody's got a different name, but it's also light and dark if you read through the lines. And it's this guy's story, and it doesn't go through, it's not over a period of 2 years. It goes over a period of 40 years, that play. So that's basically my life story, but, told in a much more enhanced way. I had to tone down a couple of parts because my story is even more exaggerated than that.
Wow. So you had to tone down the drama of life for your rock opera. That's saying something. All right, Rich, go ahead. I don't want to. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's a rock opera. So these songs, when you listen to these, and then you listen to obviously your albums from the 80s, it's definitely different, but it still sounds like you. So for a fan who's not used to this kind of music, how would you explain it to them or tell them that there's still moments of, the 80s or even early 90s Aldo Nova in the album, and it's not a complete departure from that? Like it's not too over, too much to take in.
There are, like I said, there's 23 songs. There's different songs. Some of them might even sound like R&B. Some are pop rock. Some are like synth oriented. I mean, the fans that New Fantasy and all that stuff will still appreciate. I mean, good music is good music. So what I try to do is I work 12 years to give them the best possible. The album is probably top notch. The sound is great. The songs are great. The lyrics will work. The performances are great. I got all great guys, great musicians, and the performances are top notch. And I even had Bob Ludwig, like he's the legend, master it. So it's like top notch of everything. And people can't expect me to do fantasy all my life.
Right.
Fantasy is fantastic. Fantasy. I listen to fantasy now. It sounds like a bomb. I mean, it's like I can't imagine in 1982 what that did, but now I listen to it. It sounds fantastic. So it belongs there. But I want to see people see that somebody evolves. And I'm not always doing the same thing. I think if an artist doesn't evolve, then what good is it? It's like you're not seeing a real artist. So there has to be some evolutions. I think that the fans have evolved also. To me, a fan that still wants to hear fantasy, sure there's some, but I think that they want to hear, where you are at 64 years old. It's like if you haven't advanced and you're still doing fantasy at 64, after years and years of studying and getting better at your art and getting better at mixing, your voice gets better, your playing gets better. I think that they'll really like it. I think that it won't be too much of a stretch of the imagination for them to like it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, that's great.
Jack, you got one?
Yeah, I'll read it. We got a couple of questions in the comments. So Pauline Cabrera says, I know you have a lot of written songs, but do you actively always write, or are there times where you just can't write anymore?
There was a time when I didn't write at all anymore. I went from a period of I don't know. Like I said, these songs were written. 8 were written in 2008, and I kept them all. Then I took 3 years off, and then I started writing again in 2011. Wrote a couple of songs. Then I went to 2013, wrote 3 songs. 2015, I wrote 2 songs, and in 2019, I wrote like 8 songs for the record that make it. So I go through periods. I don't write like I don't sit at a piano in the morning. I've done that where you go to writing camps and they give you 3 hours to write a song, stick you in a room with 3 other guys. That may work. I mean, I've had hits with that, but it's not my kind of music. That's not the way I write. I'll write if I'm driving my car. which is probably why I'm such a bad driver. So I'm driving my car and I get an idea. Something flies down from, you know, I'll put my phone on, I'll tape that part, and then I'll drive some more, and then I'll get another idea, and I'll take another, you know, the vocal recorder, and I'll put that on. And by the time I get home, I have a whole song. I have the hook. So it's just a matter of me picking out the chords. I've got a bad ear. I mean, you know, it's like Jack could probably pick out his songs in a minute. I can't. It takes me a long time to figure out what I've got in my head. But I don't take any credit for the songs I write. They come from somewhere else. You know what I mean? They're literally dictated to me. So, so I don't take credit for anything. So literally, it's like not me writing. I'll listen to a song and I'll go, "Wow, that's something else."
Well, we'll give you credit for at least for being the channel. So one more from a lot of comments asking about your your live plans, and what I think we touched on a little bit, but I guess what are you guys hoping for? What are you thinking? We realize COVID is what it is. I mean, what are your hopes and plans for the near future? I mean, it's kind of all three of you guys, but specifically as Aldo Nova and other projects, what's the plan for touring and
my
what are
wife,
your hopes?
like I said, to me, like the whole drive-in thing is like, I don't know, I don't want to like alienate any bookers or anything, but to me, it's like when I do my live home COVID concerts, I think that's more, I reach more people, and it's a lot more fun for somebody to watch me in my living room, and then you have a little bit of front row seat to watching me play rather than sitting anywhere. So the COVID things that I do at home are great because you're sitting there in my living room and I'm playing for you. You could be anywhere. You're sitting right there. You're watching it at home. And that's why the concept of doing like the UFC thing, big concert, is like you have a front row seat. You can sit at home, drink beer, get high, make love to your wife, do whatever you want. Ball and chain shows up, and it's like start making out. I mean, you do whatever you want. So, so that's it. But the minute my wife told me that in Germany they just did an experiment. They did one night where they had the seats like two apart, and then the other night they did the seats were just one not filled and the other one filled. And then the night after they did like people standing up in the crowd next to each other, and they did the test, and not very many people. It didn't like infect that many people, if at all. They noticed that that really wasn't a hazard as much as people were saying it was. So it looks like maybe the live scenes there's something going on. I think that it might open up. So that's all we're waiting for anyway. That's all I'm waiting for is just to get on stage with this band and just go.
Cool. You guys want to add anything onto that, Tim or Jack?
Yeah, have you guys heard anything on your end about possibilities for playing live and options and things?
I'm just seeing stuff like what Aldo said. Like, it seems like everything's going on over there. All the experimenting is going on in Europe. So let's hope. Keep our fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here it just seems like, I mean, us playing live, I can't wait. But I mean, God knows what places are going to be left after all this. Too. That's another thing.
That too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All the venues and stuff. You have to see. Like, I don't know. I mean, I probably have a better chance going overseas before we come here. I mean, unfortunately, but that's kind of the way it is. We want to play. I want to play the whole world with Aldo Nova. So, whenever the time's right, and count me in. I'll pack my bag. I'm ready to go.
Jack, have you and Tim on your own time started playing some of the newer songs from the forthcoming album and seeing how it feels?
Oh, I've been absorbing everything. Like, I have so much time in my life right now. That's all I've been doing is absorbing. And Aldo has so much of history. I'll wake up in the morning, hey, check this out. I'm like, oh my God, he sent me more stuff to check out. It's great. It's like Christmas here every day. I get more songs to work on and listen to.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I've had a lot of the stuff for a couple of years now. It's going on a couple of years. So I've sat down and learned. We had when we were planning on going out earlier this year before all this happened.
Yeah, we
And
had
so we had a whole set.
we had shows booked in July actually to go out.
That's right.
And we had somebody else in the band, and it wasn't. So we had shows, but there was only like they were scattered in the Western Canada, and again they were like in the classic rock, like open up for Lover Boy. And I said I did it because I wanted to go out, but I'm so glad that I didn't do it because like I said, I don't want to be associated, or even it revolts me to be like known as a classic rock artist when I have so much new stuff to give.
Yes.
Like I said, when I was off from 2008 to 2020, I got offers like hundreds of offers, to play live and to come out and do the classic rock circuit, and I refused every one of them, even though I was starving. Most of the time, I was starving. So it was hard to put food on the table, hard to pay my mortgage, but I wouldn't do it. Forget about it. I'm not interested. And that's like, there's no way I'm going to do it. I don't belong there. I don't feel like I'm there. So in a way, the fact that we didn't do it is actually a blessing. And now it gave me a chance to do these home concerts, the home videos, the COVID stuff, and people like, I started making the first one, Paradise, and people in the comments were like, "Oh my God, he's not dead." I thought he was dead. And I was like, sometimes you read this a lot, even now, you go like, even though I got 300,000 views on Fantasy, it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't know he was alive. Wow, he's still alive. It's like, so you get this, a lot of people thought I was literally dead. So these home things were like, that really helped me a lot. So now I'm not in the same position that I was before, where I was just, a one-hit wonder, let's say that, just playing the Rocket Sun, the classic rock circuit where they want you to play Fantasy all over the place. But now people know me, they know me as a personable guy that plays, and that's like, and I play great, and I still, at 64, I still look, great, and I keep myself in shape. So, I'm hoping to go out as a headliner and not open up for anybody. It's like go out with full licensed sound, and even if playing smaller venues, or going out with the bigger bands. But they're gonna have a hard time following us. It's like some guy made a comment. Yeah, oh yeah, I like to say you're gonna do that to Metallica or AC/DC, but you know what? Being famous doesn't necessarily make you a better musician or a better stage presence. It doesn't make you a better performer just because you're famous. You sell a lot of records and people like adulate you. It doesn't make you a better musician at all. It doesn't say that you can't kick their ass on stage. So, some guys they're like, oh, well, yeah, you do. Yeah, we see you open up for Metallica. I don't care about Metallica. Sure, they're good, but are they better musicians than we are? No, that's guaranteed that they're not. But no, they're great. I'm sorry, I didn't say that, but and I really don't mean it. But I was just stating for a fact that being famous doesn't necessarily make you a better musician or a better stage performer. Don't take it for granted that you can't go out there and give a good show because you're not as famous.
Right. Yeah, that would make Kanye West the greatest artist of all time, right? If it was just about fame.
Yeah, well, you know what? With today's music scene, there's a lot of people. They have like hundreds of billions of views, and I don't think that today's music scene nowadays, what the kids are listening to, I think that I find a lot of people are starting to go back to listening to Led Zeppelin and the 70s, 80s music. The new music has become so poor, and it's like I think that where we used to play, like me, Jack, and Tim, when we grew up, we used to strive to be like, whether it's me with Hendrix or a phenomenal musician. Nowadays, they strive for mediocrity. It's like the best artist is mediocre. So nowadays on the radio, but we can't get on the radio. God forbid that they should play one of my songs on the radio. So it's like, I don't know. It'll balance itself out, I think, eventually.
Has any of your new songs that you sent out been played on like even Sirius XM? Because they play a lot of different things on different channels.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. It's just played on Sirius XM, yeah. It has played there quite a bit, as a matter of fact.
Okay,
So,
that's good. That's a good start.
Yeah. And I think you're right, Aldo Nova. I think, Jack Frost has talked about this in the past too. I think, people kind of know their audience now. You can't really worry about, oh, we got to get on MTV or we got to get on the top Westwood radio stations. Like, no, you got to find your people. And, I think you definitely have your people. Like I said, I'm watching the stream and, I know people are you have such a hardcore fan base. So I think that's what you do well. And that's what you got to keep doing well is, you're doing what you're doing is right. So I would say that, that's my advice to you. It's my career advice to you, Aldo. Is just keep doing what you're doing.
One thing that Alicia can say is, like my fans can say, is I've always given them good quality music, good songs, always well done, well played. It's always quality. Me, it's quality over quantity. Well, 6 records in 40 years. It's like either I'm lazy or it's either I'm like super lazy, or it's like I'm just watching out for my quality control. But I mean, I'm not one of these cookie cutter guys that just make an album every year and whatever. It's like it's got to be different. I always said I was only going to come out when I had something to say, and now I have something to say, and it's quite a statement. It's like well, here it is. It's like this is the rock opera, and after talking about it so much, and there's a lot of people that said, well, oh, yeah, here's the one-hit wonder. He's old. He's never going to make it. What are you going to do at 64 years old? And what do you think you're going to do? And a lot of guys, like even famous personalities, like they don't believe it. But now, after talking so long about the rock opera, and finally putting it here, I got something you can listen to. Here, listen to this. Then they change their mind a little bit. So,
yeah. Well, that's great. All right, Rich, what do you got?
All right, Jack and Tim, do you guys have anything planned to keep active to let people know that you're part of the Aldo Nova band and what you're currently working on, either with him or on the side, or maybe like a guitar or a bass playthrough for one of the songs from the new album? Do you have any type of those plans coming up?
I keep up on Facebook. I haven't performed anything, but I keep things posted and just kind of keep people aware of what's going on. And yeah, so.
As for me, you guys all know I'm not a Facebook guy, but I got this, and it's big. My mouth's huge, so I have, I let a lot of people know, even when I got the gig, Aldo goes, no, you could tell people. I said, listen, man, this is respect. I'm not telling anybody until you make a press release, because I think it's the right way to do it. But you have no idea how much response I've got from people. There's like, we're so proud of you. That's such a great gig for you. Wow, that's cool. So I'm just gonna, keep away, listening to the songs, working on the songs. I talk to Aldo almost every day now. We like I said, I wake up in the morning, he sends me stuff, we crack up, we laugh, we talk. We're just going to keep absorbing as much music, and he's been really cool too. He's kind of giving me like what I go, give me an idea of what songs we're going to do so I can start. Yeah, I'm like a real nerd. Like I like to tab all my music out, and I just like to have it like that. It's just me, so I'm prepared. But I'm just letting a lot of people know, and I didn't even have to let a lot of people know. My phone blew up. It was insane. So,
yeah, the minute I posted his thing on my fan page saying that Jack Frost has just joined the band. I think I got like almost 2,600 likes in like not less than a day, and shares, like in comments, like hundreds and hundreds of comments. And it's like, I've never seen anything like that. So, I mean, I didn't know who Jack Frost was. I mean, I just got an email one day, and he's lucky that I answer my emails. And Tim is like, he practiced me. He's already knows the set. I don't even know the set. I sent him a year ago. I sent him the set for the shows we were going to do in July. He already knew the set. I mean, he knows the album already. So, like, now I'm going to do a COVID version of Blood on the Bricks. So I'm cutting that with I'm cutting that with the drummer's going to send me the tracks this week. I told Tim last night, I said, you better learn it. He goes, I know it already. I'm just going to brush up on it a little bit.
Nice.
And it's a good one.
All right. Well, we have to ask more about that then. So what tell us a little bit about the COVID Blood on the Bricks.
The COVID Blood on the Bricks, I decided to, since I've been concentrating a lot on the first album, it's like I did Paradise from the second album. I figured I'd hit something hard from from that album, and I think the Blood on the Bricks really rocks hard. So I got my session drummer that I usually use, Lee Levin, to cut the tracks for me. But I told him, just go wild. It's as if he's playing in front of 20,000 people. And I gave Tim the same directive last night. Says, imagine you're in front of 20,000 people. Let loose, slap, slide, do whatever you want. I just make it wild. And so it's going to be a live version, more. It's going to be like the album version is going to be tame next to this. So that's one thing about my new album is everything is set. Everything sounds like a song it's already arranged like a live song. I don't have a record company on my ass going, oh, the song's too long. And it's like, if the song's 8 minutes long and I want to jam on the record, I jam on the record. I don't need to make a song 3 minutes, then I go live and I make it 9 minutes. It's 9 minutes on the record. I mean, I do what I want. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Nobody ever has anyway. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, yeah, we got a couple more minutes. I have about 400 more questions. I'll try to get them all in the next 3 minutes or so. But yeah. One thing I definitely want to touch on is we can't not talk to you. We can't have this interview and not bring up your production credits. You had an incredible career as a songwriter and producer for other folks too. I mean, I'll tell you just really quickly. I was working in a Sam Goody in 1990, whatever, when Falling Into You came out, and we would play that. I heard it 10 times a day, and it's like, this is a really impressive album. No matter what people say about it. So tell us about your production career and your time in the studio.
Well, first of all, I've been working with Celine Dion since she was 14 years old. From her first French record on Sony. I mean, since I speak 3 languages, English, French, and Italian, it's easy for me to write in like both languages. So I did 3 songs on her first album. And then when it came time for her to do the Canadian Grammys, which are called the Junos, she needed a song. And I had a song called Have a Heart that I'd written with Billy Steinberg and Ralph McCarthy. And I produced a song in a weekend. I coached how she should sing because she didn't speak a word of English, but still can't now. But I mean, so we did that. I coached her. She performed on the Junos, and she got a English record deal. So, and from then on, became a relationship of. I think I've written like 16 songs for her. One was A New Day Has Come, which was #1 in 26 countries for 6 months at once. So, I mean, I've been there pretty much for a career. But even on this 2007 record, Taking Chances, I wrote 5 songs on the album. But after that, it was like no more Bon Jovi's, no more Faith Hills, no more anything like that. So it was like, but I've written for Faith Hill, I've written for Clay Aiken, I've written for a bunch of French artists overseas, very huge. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've written for a Chilean band called Lale. I produced one of their records that sold 3 million copies. So, I mean, whatever, Chilean, French, whatever it is, music is music. Music is the international language. You can say, you can write in English. If you sing in English, they'll play their music all over the world. I mean, it's like.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm glad we got to that because that was an important part of your whole story, I think. But yeah, Rich, I mean, so like I said, we're almost at time, but you want to ask one more question and we'll wrap?
Is the album still slated to come out in the spring, I think it said? Is it still coming out then?
COVID. But what I'm really hoping for is to play live with these guys. And I mean, I'm like energized. I mean, like I said, I put the band together. Finally, I'm missing the last link, which was Jack. I mean, now that's all I want to do. I dream about playing. I dream about going on stage and, like I said, destroying, like annihilating. You know, that's my plan. LOL, Big Ma sold 3 million, whatever. Where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
That was one of our comments. Yeah, I just I don't know. I was able to show it. We've like I said, we had comments rolling all night. Yeah, but that was just our most recent comment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I sold a couple of million units on the first one. That record's at 2.8 million copies, the first one. And what was funny is that the record came out April 2nd, 1982. And by June 2nd, 1982, it was already in number 8 on the Billboard charts. And I was on Casey Kasem. I remember that. I don't know if anybody remembers Casey Kasem, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The record took off like a bullet. I mean, you know, but I didn't have a chance to absorb it. I was already on the road. I mean, you know, it's like I was on my first tour was Hall & Oates, and I just kept going and kept going. The second one took a while to take off, but now it keeps selling and selling. Subject, like people are realizing that it was just way ahead of its time. And the third record didn't do anything, and I'm pretty much glad that's it. And I was like, I didn't really care much for that album. Then I did Nova's Dream, which it's a brilliant album. Nobody ever heard of it, and which I'm re-releasing and I'm putting out as Aldo Nova, Nova's Dream. And it's being remastered now by Bob Ludwig. And there was Blood. And then after that, it was like, goodbye. Bye-bye for like a long time. You know, it's like, where'd he go? Oh, he's dead. I'm sure he's dead. He shows up in the video in 2020, and it's like, he's still alive. Wow.
Well, hopefully from, you know, this point forward, you'll, you know, the momentum will keep going until you guys are out there.
Oh, of course. I'm just, like I said, I hope COVID, you know, settles down. I mean, you know, it's like, or it stabilizes or does something so we can come back to actually playing in a regular for crowds that actually do react. I miss that. The actual crowd interaction, you know, like feeding off the crowd and you feeding them, they feed you back. I haven't done it in a long time, but I mean, now the way I feel now, it's great. I mean, so.
That's great, man. And yeah, as we all said, you know, you look great and you're still kicking ass at 64. So my hat is off. It's been a great career. And I love the way you're talking about it, that you're not just looking back and saying, oh, sure, I'll just trot out the hits. And then, you know, I love the fact that you're thinking forward. So it's awesome. So it's been an honor. All three of you guys, man. I'm a fan of all three of you guys. So it's a great honor to talk to you guys. So I want to say thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with us for about an hour. I don't want to have the last word, so I'll let you guys have take us out with some pearls of wisdom for
Jack or Tim. Do you guys have anything you want to like plug in the meantime as well?
As I said, it's just a really honor to be a part of this history, and I just can't wait to go out there and kick ass with these amazing musicians. And I can't wait to see people's faces again and actually go out there like Aldo said. I can't wait to get on the stage and look and see people and not looking to see a camera in front of me. So I'm really pumped for it.
Yeah, I'm excited just to be working with Aldo and Jack and Billy. It's a great band, and gosh, let's get out there and do it.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. I'll tell you that much. You're gonna laugh like crazy.
Yeah. Are we gonna get some U.S. states? Because it's been a while since you've been here, Aldo. So will we get some American shows?
Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, like I said, 96.9% of my audience is American. I mean, America welcomed me with open arms back then. They're still, even now from the reaction I'm getting, still, you know, like they're ready to get me now, and I'm ready to give it to them. I mean, you know, it's like I've never been in a better space emotionally, physically. I mean, Jack just saw a picture. I just sent him a couple of pictures of what I look like without a shirt on. Oh my God. And so, I've never been in better shape physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, I'm ready to go out there now. Like I said, when I took my time, this thing has been planned for a long time. You know, it's like when everybody was saying, "Oh, he's dead. He's a has-been. He's this. He's that." I was just going, "Yeah, shut up. Yeah, wait till I come out. I'm just gonna shut you up so bad that I'm gonna make you eat your words." I mean, it's like I've been planning and working out for the last 4 years. You know, taking care of myself and eating good, and you know, no drinks, no smoke, no drugs, nothing, just like clean living. I'm in a great place. I've never been happier in my life. And now that I have these guys in my life, I feel like God's thrown me a couple of guardian angels next to me. So that's how I feel.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
We look forward to seeing it live. Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. And the new album. Really excited. And yeah, we'll do all our small part to spread the word. But yeah, thank you guys so much. It's been an honor. It's been great.
Again. Yes.
And thank you all out there for the questions. A lot of great questions. I mean, yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yes.
All right. Peace out.
All right. Good night, everybody. Stay safe.
Right.
Bye, guys.
I'll talk to you in a bit. Tim, I'll call you later.
Okay. All right.